everyone, CFL Park Hopper here at the Magic Kingdom, and today we're going to talk about how to make your touring plan for busy times now that we're heading into summer season of 2021. More people are going to get out and start traveling, and there is still no fast pass here at the park. So I'm going to help you have some tips today on how to make sure you can still ride everything on your trip, even though there's no fast pass. Let's go. Check out that Cinderella Castle, isn't she a beauty? So Disney World is gearing up for its 50th anniversary, which is going to be, actually the official day will be October 1st this year, 2021. So I think the celebration will start off in October. But man, it's pretty neat, that castle. I love it. So today we're talking about coming to Magic Kingdom, how best to ride all of the rides you want to ride without there being fast pass anymore. And now if you haven't been or don't know, you now have to make a park reservation to even get into the park for the specific day that you want to come. So that's how they're limiting capacity. So the park is a little bit less crowded. As you can see, we're walking around Main Street and it's, I think it's almost 11:30. Actually, it's noon. It's noon. So normally at noon on a normal day, if this was not limited capacity, this area would be packed. But this area tends to stay pretty light because of the capacity limits. However, the ride lines do still tend to get a little crowded. So we're going to talk about how to best maximize it. You can get on everything you want to, because you will be able to in the day that you come. You're just going to have to plan ahead and make that touring plan. So I'm going to head down this way past the castle. And we're going to head towards the most popular ride here at the Magic Kingdom, which is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Now, it's going to depend how many days you're going to visit the Magic Kingdom on your trip. A lot of people, do 4 parks, 1 park a day, at least 4 days. So they at least visit Magic Kingdom once. Sometimes they'll do Magic Kingdom 2 days of the trip and make it a little bit longer of a trip. They do have park hopping as an option. And after you've made your park reservation for the day, let's say my first park of the day is Magic Kingdom, like I'm here. After 2 p.m., I can park hop to any of the other 3 parks if I have a park hopping ticket. Vice versa, if I was to start my day at Animal Kingdom, after 2 p.m., I could come over here to Magic Kingdom or somewhere else. So park hopping does add flexibility to your trip. And I just made a recent video on if park hopping is worth the ticket price. And I will put the link to that video in the description below, because that would also help you have more time to come to this park and get more rides done. So this video is going to be focused on, like, if you really only had 1 day to come to Magic Kingdom, how best to maximize that day to ride and see everything you want to do. So here is the line for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The ride is directly in front of us. The line typically stretches all the way back and around the ride in the back, and it's typically an hour long. We're going to walk over here to see the wait time. The park opened today at 8 a.m. and I was inside the Magic Kingdom, I'd say about 8:10. 8:15, I was on Main Street. This line was already 65 minutes at 8:15 in the morning. So my suggestion to you, this line is always going to be long. It's the longest line in the park. Unless this is like the only thing that your family wants to do for sure, I would not waste my time on this first. Because most of the other rides are going to be like walk on first thing in the morning. And so if you maximize your time riding multiple things while they're walk on, you're going to get a lot more done than waiting for one thing for an hour. And then I would come and just do this in the afternoon when you're going to have to wait. So it is a 60-minute wait right now at noon. But that's how I would best plan it. Unless you are in the park before the park actually opens. So like today it opened at 8. If you could be in the park by 7:45 and walking here, then yes, I would say go ahead and get this done first, because you're going to be right at the beginning of the day. However, if you can't get here that early, I would again postpone this for later. Okay? So let's walk around and see some of your other options if you're not going to start with this first. So the other options are really going to depend on your family and your interest level. If you have young children, then I would start here in Fantasyland, which is where Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is located. Again, if that's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train right here, I just turned and I'm now looking at the carousel and the back of the castle. So down this way is Peter Pan and Small World. And you could easily start your day with Peter Pan. It is very popular. Also, just like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but if everyone's running to the mine train, then Peter Pan's gonna be walk right on. So here is Peter Pan right here, and then Small World is directly across from it. So you could knock these two rides out right off the bat. You could then come right here to the carousel. And I try to make a circular motion at the Magic Kingdom. So either one direction or the other. So let's say if we're walking this way to do more Fantasyland, back where we just came from, behind Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is Little Mermaid. And then directly across from the entrance to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, where we first walked from, that was Winnie the Pooh. So if you came and did all of those rides early in the morning and avoided the mine train line right off the bat, you could probably have 4 to 5 rides done in an hour to 90 minutes, I would say. Easily, okay? And then if you wanted to get in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train after that, typically the line will drop a little bit from the very beginning of the day. So if at the very beginning of the day, it starts up at 65, it'll probably drop slightly around 9:30 to 10 to maybe more like 50 minutes. And then as the park continues to fill back up and people start to arrive, because by noon now is the peak crowd time where the majority of the crowd is now here for the day, it's gonna balloon back up again. As the afternoon wanes on and people start getting hot and tired and going home, then the line will start to drop again. So the more patient you can be to wait it out, the better, okay? But let's talk about another factor, summer heat. So if you're planning a trip right now for summer, you want to take advantage of those early morning hours. It typically rains here every afternoon, mostly usually between 4 and 6 is when our rain comes, but it will get very, very hot and humid. So by this time, by noon, I would be pretty hot and ready to get out of the sun, especially if I'd been here since 8 in the morning. So taking a break in the afternoon, going back to your hotel, swimming, taking a nap, and coming back here in the evening is probably going to be your best bet. So I would plan to do 1 or 2 lands in the morning, and then going back and resting, and then doing another couple lands in the evening. So we just, if we just did Fantasyland, let's say here's Winnie the Pooh over here. We could also head over to Tomorrowland because that's pretty close by. So let's head that way. And I'm not saying that you have to start with Fantasyland. If you have older children, or just older adults in your party, you may not want to start with Fantasyland. You might want to start with more thrilling rides like Space Mountain in Tomorrowland, or maybe you like Big Thunder Mountain and Splash Mountain down in Frontierland. So we're going to talk about each scenario of where you would start in the park as well. So I'm going to walk over towards Space Mountain area, and we can get an idea of what it would be like to start there in the morning as well. Okay, so here we are at Space Mountain. And again, in the middle of the day, it's a 50-minute wait. But if you were here right at park open, you could have got on this pretty quick. When I walked into the park at 8:15, this already set a 40-minute wait. So just keep in mind, again, early bird is going to get the worm, especially on really busy weeks like I am here right now. This is one of the peak weeks. This is Easter weekend. So, but summer crowds, I think, are just going to be just as busy again as more people get comfortable traveling. So if you can be in the park a little bit before the park opens, that's going to be your best bet to really knock stuff out. But however, I got here at 8:15, and I'll just give you a clue as to what I've done. I started with Big Thunder because it was rock right on. I went over to Small World because I wanted to do that this morning, and it was also walk right on. And then I took about 45 minutes to sit down and have a leisurely breakfast. Then I came over to Space Mountain and around at 10 o'clock, and it was a 35-minute wait, and it was continuous walking. So yes, the line is outside, if you can see that right now, because all the lines here for all the rides are socially distant. They have markings on the ground, as you can kind of see here. Like right here is a sticker on the ground, and they're all over the place. And so most of the ride lines here at the park do go outside, and they go outside of their normal queues, but a lot of them continuously walk and move while you're in them. So it doesn't make it so bad. And after I continuously walked through the Space Mountain line, I'd say it took me about 35 minutes, like it said. Rode that. I went over to Splash Mountain because Splash Mountain said 35 minutes at the time, where meanwhile when Splash Mountain first opened in the morning, it was more like 45 to 50 minutes. So again, some of these busier rides will drop about an hour after the park first opens. So I went over and continuously walked through that line, and I don't think I waited more than 30 minutes. So I did the 3 main mountains already this morning and 1 other ride. But if I was diligent and would not have stopped for breakfast, I could have done several other of the walk-on rides at the time and gotten more things done as well. So just having a plan for yourself, I think is the most important. Decide what 5 rides you want to ride the most and kind of have a game plan as to which one you're going to hit first when you get here. And then what I suggest doing is checking on the Disney World app, the My Disney Experience app, on your way into the park. So like if you're riding the bus from your hotel, check the wait times. Or if you're coming on the monorail or the ferry boat, check the wait times when you're on that, especially if the park's already opened. If it's 7:45 and the park opens at 8, there's going to be 0 wait time, so they're not going to show. But after 8 a.m. exactly, they'll show. So if you're showing up at 8:15 like I did today, you can already see those wait times and then kind of go with your game plan. If the first ride looks like it's going to be doable, go to it and start your path. If it doesn't, then, you know, kind of go with the second or third choice. And be flexible with the choice, because sometimes rides don't open right away in the morning like they think they're going to. So I've been here before hoping to go on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and it is not open first thing in the morning, and it's going to take a little bit for it to get started. So, and sometimes it can be that way with Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain, and so on. So just be prepared to be flexible as rides come up and down. But with the way that they limit the crowds, it is easy, I think, to do your whole plan in one day. Just have that circular path. So whatever 5 rides you pick, try to check the map ahead of time. Again, they have the maps printed on My Disney Experience as well. And you can kind of make sure that they're all in the similar location. Like I said, I would try to find, you know, things in Tomorrowland and Fantasyland together. Or I could come here from Tomorrowland and go over across to Adventureland, Frontierland. It's not that far of a walk, it's just across the main hub entrance. So, but try to find some things that are connected in a circle. Don't try to run from one end of the park to the other and back and forth, because that will waste your time also with trying to get on things. So like here's Buzz Lightyear in the same area as Space Mountain and stuff like that. So finding things that connect, and then wherever you take a break in the afternoon, if you decide to do that and go back to your hotel, then pick up in the evening in the next area of the park and try to do those things. Keep in mind that as the park starts to get near its park hours ending for the night, I guess what I'm saying, so near closing time, things will get easier to ride as well. There are no fireworks currently, so the last hour of the park used to be everybody waiting around for fireworks and staying longer. But now that there's no fireworks currently, people are starting to head out. And I guarantee in the summer, if they've stayed here through the rain and gotten wet, they will start to clear out from the rain. And if they stay all day, they'll just get tired and start heading out anyway. So if you do go back and take that break and come back into the park around 5 or 6 in the evening, the park's open till like 9 or 10. That last hour to 90 minutes that the park is open will be golden for getting on rides. So if the park closes at 10, 8 to 10 will be really great, and it'll get easier and easier as the hour goes on to just keep jumping on things. So keep that in mind. Don't get discouraged if your morning becomes a bust and it gets harder and harder to ride things as it gets closer to the middle of the day. Just take that break and come back in the evening. Check it out, guys. Mick and Min and Pluto are coming down the road, and Donald and Daisy. So that character float that we just saw is the current way to see the characters. They do not do an afternoon parade anymore at 3 o'clock currently. They just do random cavalcades come through the park throughout the day. So that one had Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy and Pluto. There's another one that has Goofy on it and some other characters. There's a princess float. And they start by Splash Mountain, wind up towards Haunted Mansion, and come down Main Street, the typical way the normal parade would run. And they just come randomly throughout the day. So keep your eyes peeled for characters on those cavalcades. Now I'm over here by Adventureland, and we're gonna walk through Adventureland down to Frontierland. Because if you're looking for an easy way to get a lot of rides done in the morning, I say this is the best way to start. Just avoid Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, avoid Space Mountain, and head this way. Now, if you have young kids, as I said, I would do the whole Fantasyland bit like I showed you, skipping Seven Dwarfs Mine Train probably, unless I was here before the park actually opened, and getting all the rest of Fantasyland done. However, if you have a little bit older kids, or again, not anybody young in your family party with you, then I would start this way, because there's several more rides on this path. And this area doesn't get as crowded because most people are stuck in the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or the Space Mountain line. All right, so my preference is to start over here with Big Thunder Mountain. And then if it's running and open, go right here over to Splash Mountain. However, keep in mind, there's a lot of mornings where Splash Mountain isn't quite open right at the beginning. And today was the case of that as well. And that's why I went on to Small World, because this didn't open till around 9 or 9:30. So just be flexible again with your trip, but I would try to knock these two things out first for myself, and then you can choose to go either way. So I went up the road and Haunted Mansion's up that way too. But you can also go back to Adventureland and catch Pirates, which I'm going to walk that way now. Here come the princesses down the road. Okay, so one option you could do if you did Splash Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain first, then you could come back down here through Adventureland, and then right over here is Pirates of the Caribbean, Jungle Cruise, and you could get those rides all knocked out early in the morning. All right, so here's Pirates of the Caribbean, and right now it's, now it's closer to 12:30. This is looking at a 50-minute wait, where early this morning this would have been walk on or close to. So, like I said, just get those 5 rides, your typical plan of how you're going to start the day. And here's my other thing about wait times. In the morning time before 11, don't ride anything if it's longer than 30 to 35 minutes. And 35 minutes, like I said, I waited for Space Mountain and Splash Mountain this morning. I'd wait for that for the bigger rides. Any of the 3 mountains or the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I would not wait for it for dark rides, really. So you want to make sure that you're getting on rides that have shorter waits, because it'll maximize your time and you'll be able to get more rides in. Okay, now at this time of day, it's going to be unavoidable. Everything is going to be long at this point. So if you're choosing to stay in the park for the afternoon, then you're going to have to take your picks and start waiting in lines based on what you haven't done yet. But you're not going to have too many rides to wait an hour for if you maximize that time in the morning and tried to get on as many rides as possible with shorter waits. Also, I would encourage you to try to do more of the shows and sit-down things that take a little bit longer, also in the afternoon. So like Mickey's PhilharMagic, Carousel of Progress, Tiki Room, Country Bear Jamboree. Those are great afternoon things as well, because you're indoors and in air conditioning for a little bit longer to cool down as well. Or if you're going to stay at the park all day, definitely plan on a sit-down meal at some point. Maybe a late lunch or early dinner, sometime to eat up some of that afternoon time and possibly the rain time as well with a sit-down meal. And that'll help you relax and cool down. Well, everyone, I hope this video was helpful in planning your trip here to the Magic Kingdom. Hopefully you got some good tips or great ideas for planning your next trip. If you liked today's video, hit like and subscribe down below to see more. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new video, which is usually once a week. Thanks for watching.